Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Hublot Oceanographic 4000 meter, one of 100 made in 18 karat rose gold. You can see this immense Hublot Oceanographic 4000 on our website, watchyouwant.com. Take it home if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This watch is almost as big as the mass of my wrist itself. Yes, it's a 48, and yes, that's the largest Hublot size, but what the bare measurement doesn't express is the mass of this thing, the heft of it. This is a 23 millimeter thick, 18 karat rose gold watch that wears heavier than any platinum watch I've ever had on my wrist. 23 millimeters thick, and although it is nominally 56.5 millimeters from lug to lug, and that's usually a pretty telling measurement, what it doesn't fully express is the thickness and flare of this Hublot vulcanized rubber strap, which effectively increases the span, because it flares a bit, to about 67 millimeters effectively from fixed point to fixed point. That is, from the outermost rigid point of the watch at the edge of the strap to the opposite number on the opposing side. This is a watch built for a He-Man wrist. The mass of it, in spite of the fact that it has a rubber strap and a pin buckle, is overwhelming. Now, I have platinum watches, and I've worn full rose gold bracelet sports watches. Even in recent days, having that frame of reference, this still feels like the heaviest watch I have ever worn. It is very impressive. And if you're looking for a watch that's equal to your tree trunk wrist, look no further. You've found it. I will say this. The watch will wear smaller on the accessory textile strap that's designed for use with a dive suit, or if you wanted to wear it over a jacket or a long sleeve. And because of the quick release lugs that are integrated with Hublot's proprietary strap junction system, it's a lot like a car seatbelt buckle. If you want to dress it down a little bit on a textile so that it will fit a smaller wrist, you can do that. Now, I'll also say this. Although it is immensely hefty on the wrist, I could strap this down at the smallest buckle, even on a 16 centimeter wrist, and get a good secure fit. What I couldn't necessarily get is any sense of proportion. So if you like the oversized sports watch look, and over is never oversized enough, believe me, this overwhelming monster from Hublot, a true sea monster, is your ticket. Now, the strap is Hublot's famous vulcanized natural rubber, and in this case, a beautiful, almost tropical white. It is very soft on the skin, and given the heft of the watch, making the rest of the ergonomic equation work well is really a coup by Hublot. Now, it has a nice traditional pin buckle, albeit in most untraditional form. You can see the inset Hublot titanium bolts in H pattern. You can see that it's beautifully faceted with contrasting finishes and multiple planes. The facets add an almost jewel-like detail to it, and it's very substantial with this layered construction with the composite inserts on the side, recapitulating the aesthetic of the case flanks. So, although it is overwhelming, design-wise, there is a consistency and coherence to the entirety of it, right down to the small details that continue the horizontal articulation, the layered look of the case, into the flanks of the strap on both sides. This is a very carefully thought out watch. Even if the style isn't to your taste, this is a watch that the design team spent a great deal of time investing with nuance and richness. If it's too rich for you, again, that's a matter of taste, but this is a watch whose mantra is more is merrier. And in that vein, I want to talk about the dive features of this Hublot 4000. Now, the Hublot 4000, produced in conjunction with the Musée Oceanographique of Monaco, is a commemorative model produced in titanium in 1,000 pieces, carbon fiber in 500 pieces, and this, the rarest, 100 pieces in 18 karat rose gold, almost a red gold. It features all the ISO 6425 dive watch standards, including a unidirectional, in this case internal, locking bezel, and I'm going to show you how that works here. I screw the crown out, and now I can manipulate the index, and I can line it up with the minute hand to produce a sort of impromptu chronograph that will measure between 0 and 60 minutes. It's great for diving. It's also great for casual use anytime you need to time a period between 0 and 60 minutes. Now, the watch also features an immense 6.5 millimeter thick sapphire crystal. It's useful, again, for extreme diving, but it really pays dividends on the surface, where it's almost impossible to shatter. Even while sapphire, virtually scratch-resistant, has reduced the wear and tear on modern sports watches, its one Achilles heel is that it can shatter more easily than mineral or the old school acrylic. But when you make it really thick, it becomes difficult even for it to shatter. Now you can see that the dial recapitulates that look of the case, mostly white adorned with rich applied elements of gold. Now you can see that all the golden print is nice and discreet but crisp. The dominant feature here is that white expanse of the dished dial with that surrounding chapter ring mobile for the sake of the rotating bezel. But the individual satin finished rose gold elements really add richness and nicely complement the white. This has good depth to it, sweeping down from the bezel itself featuring contrasting finish and relieved rose gold surfaces. You move down the rotating bezel to the plane of the hour track where each one of the applied rose gold indices makes this as legible, as functional as a tool watch should be. Granted, it's plainly fatuous and whimsical in this form, but it is useful and it is a certified, again, ISO 6425 compliant dive watch. So to that end, it also features heavy-duty dive watch features, including a helium escape valve. So if you are working in an exotic gas mixture environment, if you are going down in a dive bell, granted, as unlikely as that is, the kind of billionaire adventurer who might dare to wear this thing just might attempt to use this feature. And even if he doesn't, peace of mind comes from knowing that while rated to 4,000 meters, this watch has been tested to 5. It's that tough. Now, other features of the watch include a nice, tough Hublot caliber 1401 automatic winding Swiss movement, essentially patterned after the Valjoux 7750 architecture. It features hacking seconds for precise synchronization to a dive timer, or just the clock in the casino in Monte Carlo. And the bottom line is, with efficient unidirectional automatic winding and a 42-hour power reserve, if you want to take this one off at night, put it back on, and wear it every day of a vacation, the bottom line is it's essentially set it and forget it. That's the benefit of having a time-tested tractor movement, which is as tough as steel, inside a watch made almost entirely of gold. Now there are other features, for instance, the quick change strap system. I'll show you how that works. I mentioned it earlier, but there's essentially a push-button function, almost like a car seatbelt buckle, built into both of the lugs. Now this debuted with the King Powers, and what it essentially does is it allows you to swap this out to leather if you want to dress up the watch, or the textile dive strap that I mentioned if you want to dress it down. It's easy to use, quite literally a snap to function, and like the rest of the watch, it's designed to be user-friendly even if the look of the entirety is imposing. This watch is tough. This watch has flair. It is a controversial piece, and I know every time I review an Hublot like this, there is always a torrent of for and against commentary in all of the common threads, and perhaps that's the ultimate sign of success for the designers of the rose gold Oceanographic, having invested it with so much detail, almost an overwhelming mass of gold and features they want to provoke. They want the love-hate reaction, and the kind of person with the panache and the confidence to wear this watch with no apologies loves that it's a love-hate piece. Everything you love about Hublot, the rubber, the detail, the attitude, the size, the substance in the hand, and of course the image that can't be beat, you get here, but you do get a very substantial, thoroughly engineered, and excruciatingly over-designed, carefully considered timepiece. This is a real statement watch. 48 millimeters, it wears far larger, with a visual impact the size of King Kong. Again, even if you never take it diving and the only whales it ever encounters are in the casino in Las Vegas or Monte Carlo, this one makes a statement. You can make that statement for yourself on our website, watchyouwant.com.